everyone. How are you? Happy Christmas. Yes, I know it's not your Christmas day, but we're in December. So December is Happy Christmas. And when I say Happy Christmas, I also want to take this opportunity to talk about 2020 as a year. 2020, when I talk about 2020, I tend to say, what a year. The reason why I say what a year is because I don't want to ascribe any negative connotations to the year. But I also want to acknowledge, because I don't like when people bypass stuff, that it's been a difficult year for a lot of people. A lot of people have lost jobs, a lot of people have lost family, a lot of people have lost a lot. It's been a year of loss. Let's not deny that. We can't deny that it's been a year of loss, but it's also been a year of hope. It's also been a year of change. It's also been the year that has taught us resilience. It's also been the year that has taught us what is truly important. So 2020, I don't want to describe it as anything. I don't want to say, oh, it's been a fantastic year. Yes, it has been, but it's also been a year of loss, and we have to also acknowledge that. So that's why I say, what a year. A year of mixed bags of contradictions. 2020 has been life rolled into one, because in life you would have marvelous times. In life you would have times that are not so great. And so that's what 2020 has been, but it's just been that rolled on into 365 days. So it's been a massive year. It's also been the year where I've started doing these videos. I've started talking about things that I'm passionate about. I've always talked about things I'm passionate about. If you follow me on social media, you know that I talk a lot. I'm always joking that I talk a lot. You can't get me keeping quiet. But as much as I talk a lot, this has been a year where I've also been talking about things that are important to me, what I'm passionate about. And one of my passions and one of the reasons why I do this, and what is asked me, why do you do these videos? Is because I hope I can encourage someone and inspire someone to be unapologetically who they are when it comes to reading. I want to inspire people to think that reading is not a box that you can block people into. You like fiction, or you like this, or if you read fiction, you're not serious. My goal has always been to show that you can be able to read across genres. And that's why, if you notice, if you've looked, you will see that my reading choices are as eclectic as anything. 1 minute I'm reading about World War II, next minute I'm reading a really funny story about Instagram person, or like chick flick or something, and that's what I hope I've been able to pass across to people. That's what I hope I've been able to pass across to women, especially women of African descent, that you don't let anybody to put you into one particular box on this is what you can read, this is what you can't read, or read what you enjoy. Learn to see reading as something that you can enjoy the way you watch Netflix. So we watch rom-coms, we watch thrillers, we watch you can like a particular genre. Everybody likes a particular kind of movie. Some people hate rom-coms, but sometimes you find a particular rom-com that you like, so be open to read wide. And that's one of the things I hope I've been able to pass across in all of the videos. This is possibly going to be my last video of 2020. And normally at the end of the month, I would do a recap of all the books I've read and do an excerpt and read, but I'm not going to do that today. It's just going to be a bit more free-flowing today. I haven't read a lot of books this month. Obviously, we're still in the middle of the month, but I'll just share the books that I am reading and I hope to finish. I'm also looking forward to the Christmas break when I can have time to just chill and read. So the first book that I've finished, and I didn't even start it this month, I started it in October, was Agile for Everybody. So I finished reading this book. It's a book that I really, really enjoyed, and it's one that I read personally for continuous professional development. I love reading books about continuous professional development within the whatever area I'm working in. I want to read about it. I want to gain more knowledge aside from like the normal trainings and stuff that you go to. And this is a really good one for anyone who's interested in the framework of or the methodology of Agile. There are a couple of other ones that I have in my library. The Lean Startup. There are a number of them. Design thinking, systems thinking. There are a lot of them. But this one is a really good one for someone who wants to understand Agile from a layman's perspective, that breaks it down into how you can use the Agile methodology in a working environment. So as a manager, as a consultant, as a marketer, as any, because a lot of times when people think about Agile, they think about it in the Scrum, Kanban, very product development, software developer kind of perspective. And I know we use it across a number of settings. But if you're thinking about using Agile across a number of settings, this is a really good book. It was recommended to someone who I consider a mentor, and I really, really absolutely love it. Another book that I'm reading this month is The Secret Lives of Babasegi's Wives. I'm reading it with the Chapters Book Club. It's a fiction read for the month. We decided that we're going to read fiction in December, and it's been a very, very interesting read. I've read it before, and I'm reading it again, and I understand why I love this so much. It was written by Lola Shonei, and it's a book that has won a lot of awards. It's a book that, it was longlisted for the Orange Prize for Fiction. It's been adapted into a play. It's also coming on Netflix. So it's a really, really good book. It's recently also been read into an audiobook, so you can check the audiobook version if audiobooks are more your thing. The next book that I'm reading as part of the Bookmarks Book Club is The Mechanics of Yenagoa by Michael Afemfia. Oh my gosh, it is such a funny read. Oh my god, it is so hilarious. I have laughed so much while reading it. The main character in the book is such a case, and it reminds me of a number of people that I grew up with. As usual, you know that I like reading African fiction, but because it reminds me of home, especially Nigerian fiction, there's a lot of the vocabulary there that reminds me of home. I just go into the story and it just feels like I'm back home. So it's a really good book. If you really want to get some things about it, please do join my book club. If you're watching this on YouTube, I'm going to put the link onto the form that you need to fill to be able to join the book club. If you're watching this on Instagram, you can actually click on the link in my profile and it will take you to how you can join the book club. You really want to join our book club. When we're discussing, you're not just getting to speak to me, you're getting to speak to a very interesting group of people. Nothing is off the table. We will be surprised. I was like, we're supposed to be discussing a book. How did we get here? And I finished those sessions and I'm pumped because I was like, oh my God, these women are marvelous. These people that I'm reading it with are marvelous. My last book that I'm reading, I just started, is this Whopper that was given to me by someone. Thank you so much to the person who gave me this gift. Like, they know me so well. Is Barack Obama's A Promised Land. It's a whopper. It's 700 and something pages, and it hasn't disappointed so far. Say what you want to say about political ideology, say what you want to say about Barack Obama as a person. You cannot take away the fact that the man is a wordsmith. You cannot take away the fact that the man is an orator. He has a way with words. So if you've read Audacity of Hope and Dreams of My Father, I like Audacity of Hope, but I personally prefer Dreams of My Father because I read biographies to get into the psyche of people. I love people. I'm a people watcher, so I like to see what makes people tick, and that's one of the reasons why I really like biographies, memoirs, and autobiographies. And this has not, Dreams of My Father kind of told me who Barack Obama was as a young man searching for identity in this world. Here is a kind of a recap of how he's then from then become the president of the United States, the first black man to become the president of the United States, and his journey so far across the political terrace. So personally, it's one that I really find intriguing and one that I'm enjoying so far. So if you like those kind of things, you would enjoy it. I also thought I would share as well some of my reading plans for next year. One of the things that I'm probably going to share, for those who follow me and kind of know the things I share normally, I'm not going to have a reading target for next year. So because I host 2 book clubs, I probably would read at least 2 books a month. But I'm not going to have like the target I had. So this year I had a target of 40. I think I'm on 37 or 38 now. Probably I'll be able to get to that 40, but I'm not having a target next year. And right now, that's because I know that reading is a habit for me. If you're not there yet, maybe it might be good to have a target. But you know what? I'm really questioning, and this is not me questioning just reading, but I'm really questioning the rationale and the motive behind sometimes when we have targets for doing things. This is me also bringing in my business process head as well, where we're talking about what are you measuring. And so I probably might not have a measure next year for reading, but I'm going to be a bit more immersive in my reading. So I'm going to probably take an area where I want to see some improvements, and then I'll read a couple of books in that. I'm also wanting to read a bit more autobiographies. I didn't really read a lot of autobiographies or biographies or memoirs this year, and personally I think there are things that I can learn from people, especially around leadership. So I'm going to read a lot more biographies, a lot more memoirs in 2021 by God's grace. So that's my reading plan for next year. I hope you're already beginning to think of your reading plan. If you do need help with a reading plan, if you want to read more in 2021, please do feel free to contact me, and then we can think of how we can do it together. So yes, that's my part of my reading plan. It's not as serious as I just made it out to be, but that's part of what I'm going to do in 2021 regarding reading. And I hope you have a fantastic Christmas. I hope you have a restful Christmas. We all deserve some sort of rest at some point this year. And in 2021, I hope to be able to be